Are you in a stage where you are potty training your young child? Well, before you begin the process of potty training your child, these are the things that you should consider so that your child is prepared to initiate the action of using the toilet. So stay tuned until the very end so that I can show you our bathroom setup here where my daughter is learning how to properly use the toilet all on her own. Now, I know that you are probably watching this video because you have a toddler who is learning how to use the toilet, or you will soon have a young child who is going to start the process. So if you are like me, when this process started for my daughter, the first thing that I thought of was the toilet. What toilet seat do I use? What potty do I use? And so it is important that when you consider a toilet, you consider one that is appropriate for your child. Now, at the very beginning here at home, we had this really beautiful one that looked like a real toilet. But the problem was that my daughter's feet did not reach the floor. And so that immediately we knew that it wasn't going to work. Now, a child needs to be able to have their feet down on the floor when they are sitting on the toilet so that they can use the muscles of their legs to properly push and to hold on to their legs and so that they can be comfortable. And so here in our house, when we saw that, well, that very first potty just didn't work, but we loved it, parenting life, right? We decided to get a different potty that had small legs, that was smaller for her to sit on, and it was just very easy and very practical for us to clean. And so one of the things that you need to look for is, of course, that height, making sure that there is that backrest, having that your child is probably going to be figuring out how to sit in the toilet. And of course, something that is practical where you can just take it out and dump out the pee and then go in and wipe the poo. Some people really like to use like little liners so that they just take it out and toss out the poop. Here in our household, we have the little potty right next to the bathtub. So for us, it's very easy to just dump it into the toilet and then give it a nice little rinse and, of course, sanitize the little toilet. So aside from the toilet, what else do you need? Now, I truly believe that simplicity is key. If you follow my family's journey on Instagram, you have probably heard that a million times. But the idea here is that we are isolating the acquisition of a skill. And so there are some people that recommend that you have a basket of books right next to your child. Now, I am going to say that that is up to you if that is part of your comfort zone. But the reality is that you don't need books right next to the toilet. Now, if a child is learning how to sit on the toilet for the very first time and they're trying to figure out how to release the pee, how to release the poop, the books next to them can become a distraction. And so I have seen that there are times in different households where the books just end up on the floor. Now, this can be a cause for a very stressful situation for you, for yourself as a parent. And so remember, you want to simplify this for your child and you want to simplify this for yourself so that you don't get to a point where you're irritated because you're going in to clean all the books and sanitize them and pick them up after your child has used them, or maybe perhaps accidentally gets a little bit of poop or a little bit of pee on them. And so simplicity is definitely key. I do share this as a Montessori certified guide. I've been working in the classroom for about 8 years, but I've been working for children in general for about 13 years now. And so I share this with that teacher experience, and I also share with the experience as a mother. So now we know the type of toilet that you need. You can use the books if it is something that you prefer. And the other thing that I do recommend that you need to set up a proper environment is a mirror. Now, a mirror is really important so that your child can go to the mirror and just really see how to wipe themselves. They can stand right in front of the mirror and bend over, touch their toes so that you can start cleaning them, and eventually they will start cleaning themselves. Now, this here is something that toddler teachers do or toddler classrooms do in the Montessori setting. I haven't really seen this in conventional preschool, so I thought this was very unique to the Montessori philosophy and the way they teach a child how to use a toilet. And so if you go into any Montessori toddler program, you'll see that they will have a mirror there so that they can see themselves. It's also a great tool so that when your child does sit there and they pee or they poop and they feel excited, they look at themselves, they see the reflection, and they know that they are excited. They can see those emotions, and of course, they can feel that. And so having an acrylic mirror, of course, something that is very safe, is definitely something that I recommend. I'm going to link down below the acrylic mirrors that we use. And these acrylic mirrors are great for also a self-care area that can come after they are successful with using the toilet. Something else that you, of course, want to consider is having wipes on hand so that you can clean right there, right on the spot, and also having some toilet paper. I highly recommend that you have little pre-cut toilet papers that your child can use, little squares. At the beginning, of course, you're going to go in and wipe them after, but the idea is that they start getting some practice with wiping themselves and learning how to do it. So this truly becomes this new learning experience where you show them how to hold the toilet paper and how to clean. They can do it right in front of the mirror so that they can see themselves. For young children, it's really hard for them to, maneuver this movement here, but when they can see it in front of them, it becomes a lot easier. And so having those wipes and having the toilet paper there on hand and having it in a place where your child can reach them, and of course always having them in the right spot. We know that children at this young age are in a sensitive period for order, and so you want to make sure that things in there are in order and they are in the same place so they know exactly where to go to and they're not caught off of guard when they just simply can't find the paper and they don't know what to do. The next thing you want to consider prior to getting your child started with using the toilet is the type of garments they're going to use during this process. Now, a lot of people like to use pull-up diapers because they are just simply easier and a little bit more convenient. The thing with pull-up diapers is that they're a diaper and they just absorb all of the urine and all of the poop. And so it's going to be challenging for your child to feel that they are wet and to realize that they are wet. They also absorb some of the odor. And so odor is going to help your child. It's going to give your child a signal that they need to use the toilet or that they have soiled their diaper or their underwear. And so it is highly recommended that you use just simple underwear, just like this one. Now, I'm going to be linking these down below, but they're nothing special. They are just a cotton underwear that is very lightweight, and it's going to help your child feel when they're soaked. When there's poop in the underwear, it's going to help your toddler know that, oh, it feels uncomfortable. There's something in here, right? And that's going to give them the opportunity to start getting in tune with their body. Some parents also decide to just simply use no underwear. Now, while that is not a wrong approach, you, of course, you always have to do what is comfortable to you. The idea of being able to use the underwear is so that your child starts to get practice with pulling it down and putting it back up, and really the whole process of toileting, from identifying when they are wet to using the toilet and the aftermath of taking care of themselves, like cleaning and pulling up their underwear, and eventually, of course, dressing themselves and all of that, and hand washing. So that's the idea here with using some just simple cotton underwear. Now, these are some things that you need to consider to set up that environment for your child and to consider before your child starts to use the toilet. Now, I am going to be making other videos here on the psychological aspect of toileting, the emotional aspect, and all of that information that is going to give you the tools to help your child through this process. But for us here at home, I have an extremely simple setup. We have the toilet and we have the little mirror. And currently, my daughter is 19 months. And so she is still in the process of learning how to use the toilet. Now, it is important to note that this can be a process, and you need to have an open heart and an open mind that it might not happen in 3 or 4 days. Now, remember that we are dealing here with humans. We're dealing with a human being who is learning a whole new skill, a skill that is important for them to really have for their entire life, right? And so it's important that we do it in a very kind and respectful way and respect their time. If they take a month, then it takes a month. If they take a week, it takes a week, right? So having that open mind. Go ahead and click up here so you can see how you can get started from the infant stage, and stay tuned for those other videos that I just mentioned where I'm going to share more about toileting. I hope that you have found this helpful. Don't forget to subscribe and to like this video and to follow my family's Montessori and the Home Journey on Instagram. I want to hear from you. If you are in this process or if you have achieved this process, leave your comment down below. Having that, it is so important for us to just share our experiences so that others who are in the same boat can get inspiration from you, or they can get some ideas from you as well. Thank you again, and I will see you soon. Adios.